Welcome back to the best review channel on YouTube, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. And today I've got a treat for you guys. So, for all you Star Wars fans out there, and especially you lightsaber fans out there, I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Larbel Qui-Gon Jinn static hilt replica. So, if you guys don't know too much about if you guys haven't been into, replica lightsabers for very long, back in the day, I would say in the early 2000s, there was a company that came around that I'm not 100% sure if it was pronounced Larbel or Larbel. I always called it Larbel, spelled Larbel. And they were known for making some of the highest quality, most screen accurate lightsabers at the time. And this was before the days of master replicas. This was before the days of the Hasbro sabers. And these things were just made with just absolute amazing quality. All right. They were known for being extremely heavy, extremely accurate to the films. And when I finally picked one of these up a couple of years ago, while the website was still up, I always really wanted one. But at the time, I was so young, I couldn't afford one. Um, but later on, I was able to acquire one through eBay, and I actually got this for a really, really good price. I picked this thing up probably around 6 or 7 years ago, I would say, and I got it for like $90 on eBay because the guy had it set to bid rather than like buy it now, and nobody else was interested. Nobody had really searched for Larbel sabers, it seemed. So I'm going to give you guys a quick overview on this thing. Now, this saber is a static hilt. That means it has no electronics, okay? It is just a display piece. But for a short while, Larbel was doing what was called EL. So they were actually called Larbel Plasmablades, or Larbel Plasma Sabers for quite a bit of time. And they were utilizing the EL technology inside, the electroluminescent, which never really was very bright. They used very thin blades. They were never really impressive, but it was interesting to see the progression of, the lightsaber hobby, start off like that, and then it eventually went to LED, and then you had like the Luxion LEDs, and then you had the strip LEDs that allowed for the blades to scroll up and down. So enough of my talking. Let me go ahead and showcase this thing for you guys a little bit. So before I actually go ahead and show you guys some closer detail on this, I actually went on the waybackmachine.com, and I was able to find some of the some pictures of what the website used to look like. So, for any of you guys that used to check out the website back in the day, I think it'll be interesting to see kind of how the site used to look. So I'm gonna be throwing up a couple of pictures, and thankfully they still had the page with this particular saber on it, and they actually called it the Q because they weren't allowed to use the actual names of the characters for copyright issues and all that. So I'm going to put up a couple of pictures of the site just to show you guys what it used to look like. It's pretty cool that we're still able to see that, but let me give you guys a closer look at this here. So like I said, the quality is unbelievable. It weighs, I would say, around 3 pounds or so, because this thing is solid. aluminum construction. And as you can see here, look how deep those grooves go into the hilt. That's why it's so difficult to modify these for electronics. I mean, it's been done. There is an area here where, if hollowed out correctly by the right, sabersmith, so to speak, that it can be done, but it is not an easy task from what I've heard. So I'll just give you guys some detail shots. If you can see that the anodizing on the black is absolutely flawless. Okay, it has the curved look here. Very accurate to the films. You've got the Covertech right there. You've got that very distinct red anodized knurled ignition button. Here's a little closer look of the front side of it here. The emitter. And it is just plain. And it is, like I said, usually most of the sabers have a 1-inch. This has quite a smaller emitter here in comparison. So if I ever wanted to get this converted to be like an LED saber with sound, that would have to be opened up. It would have to have a set screw installed. It would have to have the pommel ventilated in order to have the sound come out. And to be honest, this thing is like a piece of history, and I really don't want to modify it. I really like it in the way that it is as a display piece. I eventually plan on getting like a nice stand for it, which will have Qui-Gon Jinn's name, and it will just look really nice behind a glass case. Now this thing does come apart, okay? But yeah, just take a look here at some of the detail. Let me just... It's very shiny, so it tends to take fingerprints very easily. But yeah, just look at some of the detail there of the finished edges. It's just flawless construction. Absolutely beautiful. It looks like you picked it up right out of the movie. There are no unfinished edges. It is one of the more impressive movie props in my collection. And if you guys are interested in seeing more movie props, let me know. I will definitely make videos regarding some of those things. But yeah, let me show you kind of some of the ways that this thing comes apart. So this pops off here. And then the button comes off as well. So this just unscrews. And this has a 2-piece construction. And this doesn't, like I said, it doesn't do anything. It's just static. The pommel unscrews as well. And as you can see, this thing is solid aluminum, so that's why it's so heavy, and that's why it's very difficult for sabersmiths to convert these. Now, the last thing is if I remove this screw, then this entire shroud is able to be removed as well, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So I will just throw this thing back together for you guys. So that just screws on like that. Then you place this here. ignition switch goes right there, and then the emitter screws right back on. And it's like, just the quality of this thing is unreal. All the threads are perfect, the machining is perfect. Okay, the deep grooves are really what set this saber apart. And Qui-Gon has always been my favorite Jedi. I just really like him as a character. I've always connected with him as a character. He is just, his level of wisdom and his dedication and passion. He's the best, and if you ask me, he has one of the most handsome, unique lightsabers. If you really want to know the truth, I truly believe that the prequel trilogy had the best looking lightsabers, I would say. They had some of the most intricate designs, some of the most gorgeous hilts. The episode 1 Obi-Wan saber is another one of my favorites, with that really cool pommel, extremely unique design. But this one is just in a class of its own, if you ask me. The size of it, I mean, just look at that. It's an absolute work of art. So I threw in some props here just to show you guys a little bit of my Qui-Gon stuff. Here's a vintage collection Qui-Gon figure. I really like the vintage collection that they did a couple years back, and they have actually brought it back. And if you guys want to see more of these, I can do individual reviews on these if you guys would like. But yeah, these are great as well. You've got that saber right there. Let me see if I can get it in detail. And then you've got it right there as well. A really nice shot of Qui-Gon there, with a very determined look on his face. Found this not too long ago. I thought this was an interesting pickup. This is the Phantom Menace on VHS, but in absolutely mint condition, still sealed. And it's just interesting to see that this was sold at the grocery store. Let me see if I can get the detail there for you guys. ShopRite. I don't know if you guys remember that. So this was sold at ShopRite for $16.95 plus tax. So imagine that, the good old days of buying VHSs for almost 20 bucks a piece. I mean, but this movie was iconic. So a lot of people didn't like it. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people didn't like it, but I was pretty young when this movie came out. I actually remember my friend's father taking us to the movie theaters, and this movie blew me away as a kid. So I absolutely loved it. I grew up with it. You know, you have your critics of the prequel trilogies, but for me, they were absolutely amazing, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys it was the same. And here we've got the classic Duel of the Fates. Arguably, if you ask me, the best lightsaber choreography and one of the best lightsaber battles that we have ever seen. Just an absolute treat for the eyes. And then you have the infamous Jar Jar Binks here, which, you know, definitely had his fair share of controversy. But yeah, take it how you want it. I always will love this film, and I think it did a tremendous job of tying the story together. I also have here, this came with, actually, when I was a kid, I had the special edition VHS version of this film, and it came with this awesome book, with, an actual film cell from the film. And funny enough, the film cell that I ended up getting, with my luck, was Jar Jar Binks doing his thing. So, but yeah, the art of episode 1 was just, they had so many different ideas, and that was some of the reason why I really liked the film, was some of the art design and the intricacies and the costumes and Queen Amidala's makeup, and it was way ahead of its time, and people don't give it enough credit for what they accomplished at the time, because a lot of the CG elements that they ended up using in that film were very, very new and were actually utilized quite a bit later on in filmmaking, and it was definitely something special. Yeah, so let's go over here real quick. Yeah, just look at some of the concept art they had for this movie. Look at that. I mean, these were some of the potential villain designs that they had before they ended up settling with Darth Maul. I mean, look at that. That is so sinister. Look at some of that. Could you imagine, rather than Darth Maul, we had something along these lines? Got this guy here. Just different Sith Lord concepts. Super interesting, if you ask me. You see here it says, before Lucas nailed down the character of Darth Maul, he instructed Lane McCraig to brainstorm what a Sith Lord might look like. And it's just really interesting to see what might have been. But here we go. This is what we want to see here. We've got the different representations of what the Jedi might have looked like. Let me get a better detail here of the lightsabers, because that is what we are here for. But yeah, those are some interesting lightsaber designs that were potentially going to be used. If you can see this one here, the first one to the left, it definitely is reminiscent of Qui-Gon's saber that was actually used in the movie. I would say the one in the middle looks more like an Obi-Wan saber. But yeah, these were some of the concepts of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And then just, yeah, look at that picture of Qui-Gon. Really awesome. So here it says Qui-Gon Jinn as the younger and elder Jedi. Conceptual designs initially drew a young Qui-Gon. When Lucas finally decided that Qui-Gon should play the role of a mentor, McCraig drew a new portrait based on Liam Neeson, and then Jedi lightsaber conceptual designs, which were over here. But yeah, that's our boy there. And you got C-3PO. But yeah, enough of that. Let me just give you guys another quick look at this beautiful piece. It is one of my, like I said, it is one of my favorite movie props. And I cannot wait to actually get a nice stand for it and put it on display where it belongs. Okay. Like I said, don't mind the fingerprints. This thing is a fingerprint magnet because of the absolutely flawless finish that they put on them. But yeah, guys, please, if you appreciated the video, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe and like the video. I'm really trying to grow the channel here with some reviews that I know you guys will enjoy. And I really am happy that you guys are giving me the feedback that I've been getting so far. So if you want to see more lightsaber related videos, more movie props, some more Star Wars stuff, just let me know. And you guys have a good one, all right? God bless.